Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. We are live with Alan, the intuitive. I feel like I'm in a circus with Alan, the intuitive. You know what I mean?
Where are you? There you are.
Here I am. How are you guys? I hope you guys are all doing well. I just want to shout out, say thanks so much for coming by. Thanks for sending your messages, your questions. And we are going to endeavor to answer as many of them as we can. You put your questions in the chat, just like people are doing right now. I would just say this before we get started. Spirit literally drags us to the message. I don't understand why some messages get picked and some don't. I don't understand that. I can just tell you the Spirit does that. So.
And Susan, can I just say one thing?
No, you're not allowed to speak on my
It's a compliment. Because I know how much you love, how much you look lovely tonight. We are both rocking a variation of green.
Yeah. I got my snuggly holiday sweater. Yeah. Kind of little holiday thing going on here. And by the way, happy holidays to everybody.
Absolutely.
Whatever holiday you are celebrating.
And our usual ground rules are in
oh, what are they? Did I get a copy of the ground rules? Mm-hmm. What's happening?
No math. No math. Sports questions.
No math, yeah.
We have our Magic 8 Ball.
We do have the Magic 8 Ball to fall back on.
Right. I also have our Liz Cheney penalty bell.
No, I swear to God, I'm flying to wherever you are. I'm going to take that bell from you. People love the bell. I do not love the bell, people. Okay. We're going to have to create a diversion. I'm going to send my dad in spirit over there and take that bell. Okay.
He thinks it's funny. You're the only one who doesn't.
Unfortunately, he does think it's funny. That is exactly my dad. Lighten up, Susan. It's going to be funny. Let's have fun. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah. All right. Okay. And it's funny because we had a bell. I don't know why. It was a joke. It was a joke. When somebody was sick, they would ring the bell like somebody's literally going to come bring you chicken soup. Never happened. That bell could ring for hours. Nobody home. Okay. No math. That's right. That is exactly right. All right. Let's get going. Alan, do you want to do the honors of picking the first person to read? We have quite a few people here.
Cynthia. Oh,
do you want to click it and put it on the screen? Thank you.
See, I'm learning. Old dog, new tricks. Cynthia asks, will my 29-year-old granddaughter ever be cured of her pseudo seizures? And if so, when? Thank you. I'm getting something, but please jump in, Susan.
I'm not sure if I could use the word cure, but I could use the word better or, certainly lessened. Like almost to the degree where she could go, maybe even go years without one. But I'm not sure that the guides would say, I just don't know if they can say cured. I see this being a gradual increasing of time between the seizures with some success with the thing that I would tell you about, because I always try to give you guys a heads up, forewarned is forearmed. So what I'm seeing is there's some success, meaning time between the seizures, and then she has sort of a setback. That is a problem because then it stresses you out. It stresses her out. It makes her feel like, oh, no, not again, right? So what I want to tell you is that setback is not permanent. The setbacks are there, but they're going to be less and less and further few between. What do you get, Alan?
I got there's a treatment plan that started to form or come together in 2023. And it's going to continue to grow in its efficacy. And I think it involves behavioral changes, all sorts of things that might be seen as holistic, but also Western medicine. And I think that's what it's going to take to address these. So there might be food allergies, there might be all sorts of environmental factors, but then also a type of medication. And I think as she moves into her 30s, it absolutely will be addressed in a very meaningful and again, not completely eradicated, but it's under control in a way that allows her to live her life.
A normal life. Yep, I agree. That's good news. Thank you.
Good luck, Cynthia.
Yeah, good luck to both of you. That's very hard to deal with. Okay, thanks for all these questions. Holy moly. All right, let me see.
Give the wheel a spin.
we actually have some moderator, and I don't know who you are, but thank you. Whoever you are, I feel like it's Santa's elves or something. One of Santa elves moderators came in and moved and put all the settings to slow mode and subscriber only. And it wasn't me. And I'm pretty sure my dad doesn't understand technology to do that. So whoever this was, they went in early and did this. So whoever you are, unmask yourself and show me. And thank you. Okay. So let's see. I am going to go to this. I'm just going to go, Karen, to you really quickly. Karen wants to know, how can she learn to trust and lower her shield? And I'm very familiar with Karen because she's a member and she's been to our event that, in Chicago. But I just want to say, because I know you, Karen, I want to say that you've just gone leaps and bounds. Like the person you were when I first met you in our Soul Growth Sunday membership, that person is no longer there. You have done immense work. You should be so proud of the work you've done, because you are just a whole different person. Truly, to me, I see it. I bet Alan does as well. So how to learn and trust more is you're a tough grader. The guides are saying you're a tough grader. You're never going to give yourself an A. You're always going to give yourself a B-. There's always room for improvement in the Karen Ettinger world, right? So give yourself an A. Slow down and celebrate your wins. Slow down and say, wow, I got that guidance. It happened. I felt that. I knew that. You have to acknowledge it. To me, the best thing to do is to have validation. That's why if I were doing this work, if I were doing this spiritual work without doing readings, I would not be as far along, because the readings constantly validate what's happening, which is nice because our 3D world doesn't validate it. There's no other way to validate it. You pay your bill on time. You're like, okay, I validated. I did the right thing. But in this world, if you're getting guidance, there's nothing to validate that you got the guidance. So it just helps to have outside validation, in my opinion. But you're doing great, Karen. What do you want to say, Alan?
And Karen, was there a recent experience you had that caused you to doubt yourself? The compare despair that we so often do, that saying I should be farther along, the hard grading that Susan talked about. It's iterative, and it comes and it goes. It might be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but know that it's always moving forward. It's always advancing. And it is through, I think, oftentimes it indicates the need to do deeper work, deeper personal work about trust, about old issues, about being vulnerable. Because any relationship with spirit is like any other relationship. It is about being vulnerable. It is about allowing that energy in and having a conversation, having an energetic conversation. So I think there are going to be more leaps and bounds in 2024. And during this Mercury retro period, take some time to think back and review, regroup, rethink how things went for you in 2023. I think you're going to come up with an A+, Karen.
Nice.
A little itchy, a little there's an itchy quality there. I would say that your move will be when it does come, will be readily apparent for you in 24. I'm thinking more over the summer and the fall, and it's directly related to a very specific life change for you. So I think what you're picking up on might be some nuances around change in your life in general. And I think you're going to be in that, I'd say another 6 months, you're going to continue to be in the apartment you love. And so you're going to be able to have both. You're going to love your apartment for the next 6 months. And then I think you're also going to be aware that transition of where you live, and it could be around another, as I said, another major life transition will be coming through later this coming year.
He's a natural, you guys. Can you guys believe this is like his 3rd time on YouTube? He's a natural, right? Okay. And also just imagine my frustration for all those years trying to get him on YouTube. But anyway, I would just say, I totally
let it go, Susan. Let it go.
Where's my bell? No. I'm going to get a bullhorn. People are going to have to mute the.
You're going to have to put a nickel in the mason jar.
I'm gonna have to put a nickel in the mason jar. Okay, I would just add, I totally agree. I got like June, July, could be August. I think that aligns really well with what Alan is saying. And if you might think about it like catching a wave, like if you're body surfing, you can't really force it. The right wave is going to carry you straight into this energy. So just wait for that. It's going to build and you're going to feel even itchier, so to speak. You're going to feel like, ooh, I really want to go, because you're tuned into this energy. So you're going to feel like you want to do it, but you shouldn't do it. You should wait until you really, really get the green lights, and you'll know. Don't worry, you'll know. I feel like Alan was intimating that there could be some sort of change in your life around this. I'm wondering if there's a new relationship that comes in, a new friendship that comes in, a new job, something opens up. It could be a new hobby, a new group of friends that you're just like, wow, I never thought I would love this hobby, but now I'm doing it all the time. It seems to coincide with that. There's an opening in your life other than the apartment, and that also coincides with the apartment move. I'm not sure about buying a house. Are you sure about buying a house? Or
No.
I feel like it's another apartment or condo kind of thing.
Yeah. I also think that, and we'll see what many of their comments are tonight, but I think in general, people are picking up on the dynamic, is the word I'll use, energy for 2024. And that they're picking up on change. They're picking up on, in some cases, change that is ready to happen and needs to happen and can be accommodated. In other cases, they may be picking up on changes that are maybe somewhat unnerving to them. So we'll see about how I think 2024 is going to work out. But many of these things almost can't be predicted.
So look at the next question, because this was my question that I was going to put on the screen, and you're already reading it in advance. And thank you, Tamara, for the super chat. So go ahead, continue, Professor.
What is something smart we can do to ride the energy in 2024? Watch Susan and Alan on YouTube.
Nice. That's pro level right there.
How was
That's
that?
pretty good.
How was that?
That's pretty good.
I think riding is the right answer. I think that for some of it's going to be careful what you wish for, because I think there is, if we can remember to turn fear into excitement, and I don't mean to be glib about that at all. I think this next year will be challenging for some people, but riding it, flexing your knees, staying on the horse, trying to see where the energy takes you. And we've talked about this before, about being in the void, not black and white, the not know mind, being curious, being childlike, see where it takes you. And I understand that that's a heavy lift for some people who are going through some difficult things. But that would be my advice, Tamara, for just being present in the moment, and not trying to project too far into the future, which is rich, given what we're doing.
Given what we do for a living.
Right. Does that make sense? I mean, what do other people think about that? I'm at a loss because I think there are going to be some major global and personal events happening this coming year.
I think you're right about being the observer mode, being the not know mind, which is basically observer. If you, and a lot of us are empathic, right? So if you're an empath and you're just like diving into this energy of the upset, whatever the upset du jour is, it could be protests, it could be war, it could be any number of things that could be happening in our world. And if you go into that energy, then you're going to be in the mud and muck with that energy. And I've told you guys, this is something Spirit has said quite often, is that it doesn't help them. We often say, I can't be happy because of all these terrible things that are happening in the world, right? How can I be happy? Well, at the same time, you probably go to someone's wedding, probably go to somebody's anniversary party. You probably go to somebody, maybe you do that out of rote, out of expectation. But Spirit is trying to say, there's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be death and birth, always. So try to just be in that observer mode. try not to get mixed up in this. Try to retreat and take care of yourself. That's how you're really going to get through this. 2023 prepared us for 2024. A lot of us don't watch the news anymore. A lot of us have pulled back. I really think to a degree, look, you're going to still vote. You're still going to be a citizen, but you don't need to watch the news every day to be a citizen. I just want to say before you, Karen, thank you so much for that super chat. And Hannah Webb, thank you so much for that super chat. Okay. Were you going to say something there, Alan?
I'm prompted to mention that a daily practice can be grounding.
That's true too. Mm-hmm.
Whether that's meditation, whether that's a walk, whether it's yoga, whether it's something that grounds you and provides some sense of grounding or stability, or I don't want to say habitual, but a daily practice, I think can keep you grounded tomorrow.
And grounded is a really good thing. And gratitude, just having a gratitude practice. Mm-hmm. It's not like let the world, go to hell in a handbasket. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I can't stop it. I can't stop some of these things, but I can protect myself. And remember, we're holding the light. For those people that are suffering, those people that are ill, their light is diminished. Let's hold their light for them. Let's dance and sing for them so that when they're better, there's light to wake up to. We need to keep the light going so that when they're really ready, when Ukraine is back on its feet, when all these unsettled situations are starting to settle down, let them see the light of the world.
I agree.
Okay.
Your turn.
You want to go ahead and pull the next?
Yep. How about a mediumistic one?
Let's try it.
Carmela Jolin, any message from my mom, Loretta, or dad, Paul Emile, would make me very happy. Merci.
Merci. Let's take a look. Let's call them on the medium bat phone, the heaven bat phone. And so, Carmel, I would ask you to get your little fingers ready to type, because there are, over 500 people here, and there's going to be 500 dads, 500 moms, 500 everybody's trying to get in. And I'm pretty sure I got your dad on the line, but if you can just validate what I'm saying or tell me it's not correct one way or the other, I don't care. Just let me know so that I can either continue to talk to that energy or move on to another energy that might be your dad or your mom. For your dad, there's a sense, and this could also, oh my God, Touched by Tarot is here. Thank you so much, dear, for that super chat. That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
Hey, Fefe.
You guys got to check out her channel. She's killing it over there, y'all. Okay. So Emil, I was getting folk music or music, strings, like stringed instrument, just and I'm not sure if he played it or if he liked it or if you play it, but there's a sense of jovialness or joviality. Is that a word?
Yep.
And I think that this has to do with the holiday. I think there's a sense of celebration where he's at with your mom. They're sort of celebrating. They're sort of doing a little kind of dance. Are you getting the same thing? Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we're talking to the same people, because we're talking to the same people, but hopefully we're talking to her people. But I think that he could have he could be a little mercurial, right? I think he could be funny, but I think he could also be serious. So he's an interesting guy. I think your parents are quite happy together. If they're, I feel like they could maybe have some disagreements like all of us, but I feel like they're good. What are you getting, Alan?
I got that they are reveling in their company. They are ecstatic. Nice. And that may or may not reflect how they interacted in life
on Earth, right? That's what I started.
They're like, I see them dancing. I see them, and again, it felt like maybe there was some, I don't want to say like Cajun music, but some sort of a fiddle and something else. They're dancing. Great holiday traditions. Love the holidays. It feels like there's, I don't know, like the foods and the traditions. And they're saying, don't worry, be happy. We're happy.
Yeah. There really is that joie de vivre, right? There's that sense of being in the moment. Let's be in the moment. And he had a Hawaiian guitar. He didn't play much, but he did have a Hawaiian guitar, so that makes sense. I think maybe Carmela, are you a little bit of a serious person? Can you be kind of like focused and kind of like serious about things? Because I feel like there is this sense of lighten up, of be, like Alan said, be happy, be in the moment.
And I think too.
Kids. Wow. Okay.
Did her mother have a difficult passing, or were there issues with her mother's legs or feet or circulation? Okay, I think that again, that just the mother is saying it doesn't matter now. We are.
Yeah, she's whole. They're healthy.
And I know that sounds like such a pat answer. They're happy. They're together.
No, it's not. I don't think it's a pat answer at all.
Not in this case at all. They're like, come on in, dance. Come on.
Yeah, there's really a sense of celebration.
Yeah.
I know there's some trouble. I feel like there's trouble, maybe in the family, or maybe, I don't know, but she passed of rectal cancer. Okay.
It wasn't easy.
It was not an easy time. And honestly, that's why I know when people are super happy on the other side and they say, look at me, you know what I mean? That tells me that their illness leading up to their crossing was difficult. And they're just happy to be whole again, to be able to walk, to be able to dance. There's nothing like not being able to do anything for a while, because then when you can, you really want to do it. So that is certainly something that I see.
Susan, I'm prompted to mention that before we got on began the evening, I told Susan I had gotten some information about a family fight over gravestone placement or burial ground, that there was something that descendants were, it had turned into something that it didn't need to be, in terms of the dispute or upset over burial plots. So we'll see if that makes sense to anyone.
Some other things you got too. What were those other things you got before we came on?
Thyroid issues, heart palpitations, and a bile duct.
If anybody has anything like that, let us know in the chat.
Sounds like a doctor's treasure hunt.
Yes, it really does. Okay. Sending you all the best, dear. All the best. Have a wonderful holiday. Take really good care of yourself. Okay. So, Iris says, hello, any romance in my future? I'm 66, but not dead. Yeah, go on, girl. Get it. Get it. Okay. You got to scare them. That's okay. While they're scared, you can nab them.
Susan.
I don't know what is happening.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Where did that come from?
He thinks he knows so much about me. Okay. All right. I definitely see romance in your future. I honestly think you're a little shy. I think you can actually be, when it comes right down to it, you're a little shy or a little reserved. Like, whoa, wait, whoa, trust but verify. So I do see fun, frivolity. I think you want fun and frivolity. I think you not only want romance, but you want to feel alive. You want to live. You know what I mean? You're missing that sort of that spontaneity, So what Spirit would say is bring the spontaneity, the fun, and the frivolity into your life. And then you'll meet the person who matches that energy, right? You won't meet the person who doesn't like frivolity and spontaneity. You'll meet the person who matches that energy. What do you get there, Alan?
I get that there's a concerted intent by Iris. Hi, Iris. To do it differently in 2024. Damn it. like, I want to have fun. I want to get out. I want to do. You're chomping at the bit to have a different kind of social life, and it feels like there's a social center. And I know it's not playing shuffleboard necessarily, maybe pickleball, but it does feel like there's a social center where they offer, and this is going to involve a certain amount of screwing up your courage, signing up for something, whether it's a class or something. But I see you in a group of people, and I think ultimately you're going to meet eligibles through a group of ladies. And I don't know if they're how that works, but there's a social group that you connect with. Some of whom you may already know, but in 2024, I would reach out and take the plunge with some of these social groups. There might even be like aqua exercise stuff, anything that involves a group and is organized. And it feels like it's easy. And through those connections, those platonic connections, it feels like a romance could come in. You could be introduced to someone. And I get dancing again. I get yeah. I was going to say bingo, but I know that sounds like
bingo. So far you don't like bingo and you don't like shuffleboard.
Well, because that's what old people do, and I don't.
You'd be surprised.
I'm Iris's age, so
I think Gen Z's probably would love shuffleboard.
Pickleball. I'm telling you, pickleball's the
pickleball. Pickleball is the hot new thing. It is the hot new thing. It's true.
But I get organized social events.
Perfect.
Because it's more comfortable in that setting to interact and be yourself, as opposed to going on a million first dates.
This is good advice for everybody, isn't it, Alan?
Yes, Susan.
No, but it really is.
You're working it tonight. You were working it.
Good advice. It truly is good advice for everybody. It really is. Okay, before I go on, I just want to say Hannah Webb, thank you. Alaway Girl, thank you. Lily, thank you. And Patty, thank you.
I got one. You got one?
You got one? Yep. Okay, go for it.
Speaking of activity in the bedroom.
What? Oh
Ruthie.
My God. Okay. What a nice segue, sort of.
We gotta
I
keep this going. I might kind of
no, I don't even know what I've gotten myself into. I don't know.
But you look lovely tonight, and that's the most.
Well, nice. Thank you for that. It's a good idea to suck up at this point because I can remove you from that screen.
Yes, okay. You are
all powerful, right? Oh my God.
Ruthie said, I awoke to someone sitting on my bed. I live alone. Who was it? Did I miss a message they may have had? Can I, in my development, my ongoing psychic development, there would be times where I also live alone, went to bed, reading in the bed, and I had a sense that something could appear at the foot of the bed. And
could appear
that there was energy that could manifest. And I put the book up in front of my face. I said, no. I said, that will set me back 10 years and they'll have to change the sheets. And I said, don't appear. Please don't. Come to me in a different way. Come to me in my dreams. Come to me in a way that isn't as frightening for me. So Susie, I think that you can. I think there was a message for you. I don't think it was random, but I also think that you have a choice about how this message is conveyed to you. Mm-hmm. Susan?
I agree with you. I'm getting that there was a gentle energy, like a grandparent. To me, it felt like someone who was slight in their build, sitting on the edge, and someone that might be older or was older when they crossed, like maybe someone that when they crossed, you saw them as being elderly. Okay. And I feel like they were sitting with their back to you, that they were sitting legs out. Mm-hmm. What's really funny, Ruthie, is that they weren't trying to get your attention. They were just hanging out. And the funny thing about it is that you knew they were there. So this is an indication that you're psychic, that you've got mediumship abilities, Whether you want to, broaden them is up to you, but you do have that ability, because they weren't actively trying to get your attention. They were just sitting there because they didn't think you could see them.
It also felt like they were just tired. They were like, I felt like an elderly woman who I got to sit down.
Just and even kind of like bowed over a little bit, kind of this tiredness.
Got to sit down for a minute.
I'm just going to sit down for a minute.
So she may be around you. She may be around you often. And then, and just in this moment with the dimensions aligned and you saw her. But I would say that it's a very benevolent, there's a compatibility. There's a compatible energy there. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if it's someone who watched you when you were a child.
Yeah, maybe definitely a connection when you were a child.
Yeah.
And maybe it may not even be one that you know very well. People always say, well, I didn't know that grandparent very well, but it doesn't matter because it's energy. You may have had past lives with them. They may have only had a bit part in this life. In the movie of this life, it might have just been a very small part, but you may have a bigger past life history with them. That's more important.
And I know I said they had a message for you, but now I'm thinking that it was the conclusion to draw from this is that they're around you and they love you, and you're comfortable to be around. That there's a simpatico. There's a commonality, a kindred soul. Yeah,
absolutely. I agree 100%. So don't rack your brain about what is the message and what are they. Where I think the energy is interesting is the fact that you could sense them when they weren't even trying to get your attention at that moment. So that's interesting. So you may read some books, watch some videos on psychic and mediumship. You may even take a class if you want. It's just there for you. And taking classes and reading books, it's just a hobby. It doesn't mean you have to do it. And it doesn't mean you're going to open the portal and everything's going to come flying in. But I think you might want to do a little exploring, a little bit more exploring. And then pickleball, and I have never played it, but to my understanding, they take a regular tennis court and they shorten it and they use the net, and then they have two players on each side, and they play a very short, abbreviated version of a ball game across the tennis net. Does that make sense, Alan? Do you have anything more to add?
I'm just going to let her run with this for a minute. Yes, that's my understanding as well. That was a sports.
That was a sport. You didn't say that was off limits. You just said math was off limits. And wait a minute. Okay. What was the other thing? I don't know. Anyway, let me just thank Jane Marie McNally, an artist, and Lily and Patty and all of you. And thank you guys. And please don't feel like you have to do that. Okay. But thank you so much. Are you, I'm up next.
Okay.
I am going to answer your question, artist. Do you see 2024 be much better for you medically and financially? Medically and financially. I just have to tell you what I see, dear. I do see some challenges financially. Maybe it's a continuation of whatever's happened in 23. It doesn't disappear in 24. It just continues in 24. I do think that medically you're gonna feel a little better. You're gonna have less. It feels like midsummer. You might have a break in whatever medical situation is happening. Go ahead.
I think they're sort of linked, the financial and medical, and at a deep level, and this is tricky because it often has to do with, can I do this? Am I good enough? Do I deserve to have good health, physical health, and financial health? Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to come up against that in a way in 24 where you answer yes. And it feels like starting with, I don't know if you would ever consider financial counseling or something that might help you put financial affairs in order and get some, and And I hope you don't feel that that's overstepping my bounds, but it feels if you can get your arm.
What about combining? You know, when you combine, what is that? When you combine everything?
You consolidate?
Consolidate. What about consolidating?
I'm consolidating loans, even looking at all your options, because it feels that the sense of it's almost like both a medical and a low grade fever, whether symbolically that there's this thing, this energy that just holds you back from having the life you want. I think that 2024 could be a year where you're able to sort of break through that barrier, but it may involve some uncomfortable conversations with yourself about why, with the financial. I think there perhaps is some embarrassment or a sense of inadequacy around it, and I think actually you want to do the right thing and you will do the right thing, and there are people out there who can help you put together a plan, I'm saying like a 2-year plan for addressing those financial issues. And I don't know if some of the financial issues are because of medical bills, but there's a fusion between the energy around them both.
Yeah. And there's energy that what Alan and I are kind of tiptoeing around is there's energy about these outward expressions, the financial and the medical. There's an inward reflection of the energy. So there's also something in here that's sort of expressing itself externally. And to get through the external a little faster, you can work on the internal. So the internal is I'm not good enough, or you're kind of judgmental maybe about yourself. Like, I need to do better. I should do better. I can't believe I can't do this, because perhaps in your life, you've always been able to do what you needed to do. You've always been able to do it. And now you can't do it. And what is that? That doesn't make sense. This is not me. I'm not this person. So now you're in resistance to it. And it's like a tug of war, right? We don't want to be in a tug of war. So instead of that, the thing to do would be, okay, white flag. I'm waving the white flag. I don't understand what's happening here. I don't understand how I got here, right? Because you probably don't, because of the financial and the medical, it all snowballed. And then all of a sudden, now you're in a place you've never been before. And this is not you. I get this sense that you're saying, this is not me. This is not how I do things. But yet here I am. How is this even possible? So there's healing that can be done on the inside to allow yourself to say, you know, people that have their act together, that are type A, that are really good, that are practical and pragmatic and whatever you want to call yourself, a normal person, whatever, we still fall in a rut. We still fall in a hole. We didn't see it. We fell in the hole. The medical got out of control. And now all these dominoes are falling. And now I don't know what to do. My advice is don't hold on to everything. Go into that observer mode. Step outside of everything. Ask people that don't know you very well, what would you do if your situation was like this? Because you're seeing it from this place in your own energy. It's very much like this. You really need to see it from a very broad perspective. It'll be very helpful for you.
And 2024 offers a configuration of energies that can address this, that can begin addressing it.
I agree.
But it will require saying there's an issue here and I need to seek out some sort of financial counseling or financial advisor.
And maybe even emotional counseling, an emotional advisor, because this is emotional.
Yeah.
You know, going through medical issues and money issues is tough. It's very tough.
We have lots of questions, Susan.
I know. We're sending you our love. I'm going to be faster. We'll be faster. Okay.
You can do this. You can do this, artist.
Go for it. Yeah, you can do it, artist. But just try to relax and try not to be too hard on yourself, because that doesn't help. Let me do this real quick and then I'm going to move on. Alloway girl, do you see the guides? Do the guides see your daughter receiving her lost certain money? I'm getting a yes and a no, which might mean that there's a delay. or that there's I think ultimately it's successful. What do you get, Alan? You can disagree with me as long as you don't ring the bell. Ring my bell. Okay, sorry.
It feels that it's going to be wait, and then suddenly it's there.
Yeah.
And it
The
feels like
delay.
it's almost when you've despaired. And it just feels that's the trajectory of this. And there's something to be learned in that fallow period, or in that period where it's not forthcoming. That there's something to be developed here.
Mm-hmm.
Some type of self-reliance, I want to say. And again, I hesitate in some of these cases to characterize people's situations as needing tough love, because that's not what this is. These are gifts of self-awareness and understanding, and forbearance and tolerance and resilience. So I think it will. It may pass several deadlines, it feels like, and then boom, it happens.
Yes.
Almost like when it's not needed anymore.
Exactly. When you give up, like, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. When you lose hope.
I hope that's helpful.
Yeah. I think it will be helpful. Okay, Alan, do you want to spin the wheel and
this is, I think, useful for all of us. Where was the one from the person who's seeing 444 repeatedly?
Oh,
it's in here. It's in here.
You didn't star it. I don't know where it is.
I did. It wasn't. Oh. One moment, please.
Ta-da.
Brenda, hey, you two. I've been seeing 444 nonstop for weeks. Seeing numbers is not unusual, but they are really pushing this one. I don't know what it means. Can you help me understand? Thanks. Okay. Honestly, I don't know what 444 means, but I wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk about how spirit.
No.
Okay, I know. This is for me.
Oh my God, you didn't. Okay, go. Let's see how you dig yourself out of this, Mr. Allen.
So
go ahead.
I know 4 is about stability. A table has 4 legs.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
4. How did I do?
Good. Very good. Keep going.
Okay, that's all I got. A table has 4 legs. So I think it's about stability. And maybe Little Blue Lotus and some other people who know more than I do about numerology and these numbers can jump in quickly. But the whole concept of paying attention to what's in our environment, whether it's repeating names, words, numbers, I think I'm seeing, as I become more aware of that happening, that happens. Okay, Smarty Pants, what do you think?
No, I agree with you. The 4 is the 4 table legs. It's stability. What I tell people, and I have a video coming out sort of on this on Wednesday, but it's about signs, and it's about how I learned, and I'm not really good at this, but really, if you can write down when you get these numbers, and write down when you see anything, you hear anything, you have a weird dream, somebody sits on the edge of your bed, whatever, you have a knowing, you have an aha moment, you hear a song on the radio, whatever it is, write it down. Because what happened for me was, by writing this stuff down, I learned that they gave me a new number. So 444 is a common number. 222, 111, 333, 555, all common. 5 is change, right? 1 is spirit guides, got your back, right? 4 is stability. So those are common. They're pretty easy to figure out what they mean. The question is, what does it mean for you? Are they saying that you need more stability? Are they saying that you are stable and you can relax? You don't have to be so, on point. You can relax. So that's the question. When you see these repeating numbers all the time, they're trying to tell you something. There's no doubt about it at this point. They're really, really on, shout. They're shouting at you. So figure that out. Is it, and Alan, so if you went into Brenda's energy, where's stability in her life? Is there stability? Does she need stability? Does someone else, is she the 4 legs of the table for someone else?
I think she is, if this is possible, I don't know if you're a Taurus, and Tauruses don't Torians don't write me, but I think they're encouraging you to step out from that sense of stability, to step out. You've established a foundation. Can you step out from that foundation with some sense of confidence and try new things? Try stand on the table and shout. Try new things. Dance on the table. So this idea of 444 may be a reminder. You've got what you need to go further.
Move. Okay. I love it. So that's what he's saying is the 444 is you're stable. You can stand on the table and reach higher. You can do more. You're stable. It's okay. So maybe there's something in your life that you're thinking, I don't know if I want to reach for that. I don't know if I want to expand. I don't know if I want to get out of my safe place. So that I totally agree with that. So you guys can see how we unpack that. You can do the same thing yourself. And it's true. Somebody said, Joanne, Sacred Scribe. I love her. I love her website. I love her definitions of repeating numbers. There's almost no end to the number of repeating number combinations that she does. It's very, very helpful. Okay. Clarity and decisiveness. All right. People are helping you out and helping me out in the chat. We appreciate it.
And we're learning too, aren't we, Susan?
We always learn. I hope I learn to my last breath. I hope I learned something. It's really important for me. Oh my gosh. What? Go ahead.
I'm going to pick a new one.
Go for it. Go for it.
Shireen, I'm going to read the question, but you already know the answer. Are my psychic gifts strong enough to truly help others? I don't know. Are they? Am I ready to do readings for clients?
Yeah.
I don't know. My mediumship skills are largely untried. Are my psychic gifts enough? Yes. I think that Susan and I have talked about this. YouTube is a great tool. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing tool that's transformed lives and instructed and taught many, many people. But it also has set up expectations, I think, for what this looks like, what it can look like, what it should look like. We're doing our own thing in our own way. Some people love it, some people don't. I would venture that most people enjoy it. But Shireen, you are your own person. You definitely have mediumship skills. You definitely have psychic gifts. And to ask if they're enough for who, enough for what? I mean, I think that once you start expressing them, it's like the clown car. Everyone just keeps coming out of the clown car. It's like you maybe that's a bad analogy, but your psychic gifts are definitely enough. Are you doing practice readings?
That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. If you don't, this is what I was saying earlier. You need validation. And the guides always tell my clients, do 20 free readings, not 50, not 100, 20 free readings. And at the end of every reading, how did I do? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Because you're learning. This is sort of like a learning experience. And when somebody says, well, you didn't get this, and then you say, darn it, I wanted to say it, but I didn't say it. And I would have said it, but I didn't say it. So that teaches you to trust yourself. You've got to get out of your head, reading yourself is not how to judge yourself, whether you're psychic or not. We cannot read ourselves. It's really hard to read ourselves. You're going to find that reading someone else is so much easier. So reach out to friends. Try not to read coworkers. I don't suggest that. I don't suggest you read family, because once they know you can read them, they're going to come to you and say, I think my husband's having an affair on me. What do you think? And you don't want to be in the middle of that. So you just tell people, I don't read family. I'm too close to you. I'm too close to you as a coworker. Try to read friends of friends. What I do is say, go to a friend and say, do you know someone that I could read, right? Like whatever, three dots away from you, 3 iterations away. Also, you can join groups that do readings. There's online groups, especially Mediumship, that especially through Facebook for some reason, but you can join an online group where they just practice with each other. You can take classes that have actual practice classes. There's lots of ways to do it.
Yeah. And Susan, just to clarify, you said 20 free readings, not 23 readings. 20
No,
readings
20
that
and
are
then the
free.
word free. Yeah,
Yes.
20 and then free.
I-
It seems to be about the right number. I mean, you could do 10, you could do 5, but when we get our driver's license, we can't drive. We have to have a person drive with us till we know the roads. And we just took the book. We didn't take the actual practical.
And Shireen says she has been practicing. So do it. Yes.
So you got to
all
believe
the
it then.
answers are
When
yes.
people say you're correct, believe it.
All right. You want to spin the wheel, Susan?
Oh, she's in the group that you spoke to, Alan.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I know she can.
Oh, okay.
She can
That's
do it.
why he knows you can do it.
And we need you. We need you out here doing the work.
Yes. So Shireen, my next thing would be start charging. If you do your 20 readings and you are still doing free readings, Spirit doesn't like that because there has to be an energetic, equal energy exchange. We all know we have to have something to get up the hill, right? It's the figure 8. How are you going to get up the hill if you don't have any energy? You're not. You're just going to be doing this. That's what you're doing when you're giving it away free. When you get paid for it, you have the infinity symbol. And when you're learning, the exchange is that I'm learning and you're getting a reading. When Spirit says you're ready, you don't need to learn anymore, but yet you're still giving them away free, then you're not completing the figure 8 energy exchange. And then things happen. Your readings are off and it makes you feel like you can't do it. But the truth of the matter is that Spirit's just trying to get you to step more fully into that ability.
I also think that being right we've talked about that too, Susan. It's relative. I'd say don't get hung up on being right or wrong. Just be focused on clearly giving the and as with the highest intent from your heart. Give the message you receive, and then talk it over with the client. We talked about that in the group meeting we had.
That's how you learn. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The feedback, you're like, oh, I get it now. Spirit, I saw it like this, but you're expecting it to be like this. Now I understand. Also, talk about numbers. Spirit, some people develop a psychic shorthand, especially a lot of mediums. So instead of like having to figure out what they're saying, you see a birthday cake, you automatically know it's a birthday or it's an anniversary. You see a red balloon, you know it's a birthday. You see a yellow balloon, you know it's an anniversary. You can literally create your own psychic and mediumship dictionary with your guides. But you've got to do the work. You've got to do the readings. And then it's going to start showing up. I'm seeing a yellow balloon. Why am I? Oh, because then the client says, well, I don't know about the yellow balloon, but we had an anniversary. Then you make a note in your little dictionary that yellow balloon could equal anniversary. It's a shortcut. Not for everybody. I don't do that. I don't think Alan does that. Not everybody does it the same way. Okay. So you have to allow yourself to do it your way.
Absolutely. There is no one right way.
There is no one right way. Okay, let's go. Who's next? Am I next or you next? Did you pick that or did I pick it?
I did.
I was going to pick it too. I had my finger on it. It's amazing. Okay, go ahead.
Sandy asks, my daughter auditioned for a TV series. Do you see her getting the part?
Yes.
Can you feel into that more deeply?
You want more than yes? You want more than yes?
All right, next question.
I do. I don't know. Maybe it's not this part, or maybe it's not the part she wants.
That's what I'm getting.
It's an opening. Yeah. It's an opening, and hopefully she can say, I'll take it. You know what I mean? It's not the part I wanted, but I'll take it because Spirit is putting her in this part specifically for a reason. Spirit is guiding this. What are you getting?
She's going to parlay this opportunity into a career.
If she chooses.
And it's not the specific role necessarily, but it's the opportunities that open up as a result of this audition.
Yes. If she chooses. That's why I'm saying sometimes we get something we weren't expecting and we we judge it to be lesser than, and then we get down and depressed and we decide this isn't working. I'm not going to be an actress. And you know what I mean? So hopefully she can see it as the opportunity that it really is and run with it.
It feels like there's a callback and they say, you know, we're not sure you're right for this part, but would you read for this part? Or would you consider, so if she can stay flexible, and I think there are opportunities here for her. And she would also come to be known as talented, but also easy to work with. You know, someone who shows up as a pro.
Yes, a work ethic, a real knows her lines, shows up to work, is ready to work. That's really valued. Yeah.
So Sandy, you did a good job.
Sandy.
Good home training, Sandy.
That's exciting. All right, let's move on. Linda Forrest says, help, I'm in danger of being homeless. I'm so sorry, dear. I feel like this is, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if it's not too late to do a big thing here. But what I would say is that if you do lose this place that you're living in, I see you, and that's if, and I don't know what Alan's going to say, but if it does happen, because I just want you to know worst case scenario that everything is going to be okay. If you lose this place, I see you going to live with a friend or a relative or temporary housing. Okay. Then from there, I see a series of lucky happenstances. This is their words, not mine. A door opens, a person suggests something. Again, this could be a situation where you're like, I don't know if I want this. I don't know if I want to do this, but I don't really have a choice. When you do it, it turns out to be life-changing. So it's just like Sandy's daughter in the sense that you may think this is a bad thing, but Spirit is guiding you, and Spirit is guiding you to a new direction with new people. If you can just know that, you're going to be fine. Just keep looking for the silver lining. Every twist, because I feel like there's going to be many twists here. Every twist, just say, where's the silver lining? Oh, here it is, because you'll keep your vibration up and you'll be able to see the next positive outcome that they have coming for you. What do you have, Alan?
I get the same. And Linda, I know this is, I so don't want us to come off as glib. It's all going to be fine, because I think there are some thrills and chills here. I think it's already been a very, very stressful time. And of course, with the holidays and all that. But if you knew you were going to be in a much better circumstance a year from now, sooner than a year from now, but it feels like the holidays next year are going to be new people in your life who you never would have met or come into contact with without. It feels like there's a new community, and I think it's a living community. I think it's a housing situation, a group housing, not group housing, but a community of not a house, but a apartment or affordable housing facility. And I think it's really going to resonate with you. You might even be helping out there, like find that there's some sort of role or job, or whether it's volunteer or paid. And I think you're really going to take to it.
Yeah. It's going to be like, I don't want to do this. This is terrible, but it's actually going to be the best thing you ever did if you allow it to happen. So that's why we're telling you about it. It's because I feel like the things, if I can let you know, forewarned is forearmed is what I always say. Right. So now, you know, you really are being guided. I am 100%. You are being guided. It may not feel like it, but they are guiding you. It's and
I think there's been some homeless residential dislocation in your past, in not past lives, in
disruptive housing situations
earlier in this life for you. And I think that this triggers many feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, but
anxiety.
Yeah. So I think there will be a little blip where like, now what happens, I don't know. And then I think that blip moves into something that's much more stable.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Can I say, Susan, Brenda D said, contact Habitat for Humanity. They have amazing programs. It feels again, Linda, like you're able to connect with people that can turn this around for you. And I think you're already on a list.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, turning it around. It's not going to feel like that to you. You're going to feel like you lost something. You may even lose furniture. You may have to give up some things. Okay. I'm with Alan. We don't want to sound glib. This is not easy. This is not easy, but it's something you have to go through. It feels like to me, and you're reinventing yourself. And that's the way I've experienced it in my life. Is I see this eye of a needle, a tiny little needle. And my guides are like, now you're going to go through that needle. And I'm like, I ain't going through that needle. I ain't going to fit through that needle. I don't know what you're talking about because I got all this stuff with me. They're like, no, you're going to go through it. It's not fun. It's not a fun experience because you have to let go. What you're doing is you're letting go of physical things, energetic things, limiting beliefs, ideas, the way you used to think about things. All of that has to be peeled off of you to fit through this eye of this needle. I've done this. It's something that I feel like we're all going to be doing on some level or another. But you're going to be fine on the other side because I've done that. You're going to be fine on the other side. Okay, let's move on.
I've lost the thread here.
The thread ran us over, and all I could see is tail lights. Okay.
A lot of moving questions. So the energy is very much around moving and property and relocation. So.
And identity changes, because when you're moving, your identity changes. So do you want to just talk generally about people's moving, about how to get through moving energy or how to get through reinvention?
Sure. I know that, again, astrologers jump in, save my tuchus. The idea with Uranus in Taurus, I think, has been somewhat disruptive. Is Taurus is about stability and I think dwelling and home, and Uranus is sudden and unexpected changes. So I think there are many people going through that housing uncertainty, or should I move? Even people who have the resources to be housed are wondering about where to live. And I think there's a general sense that you'll be where you need to be. And again, that sounds glib, but I think 2024 is putting us in position on the stage and on the chessboard to be our best selves and to take our place, to participate in what's coming.
You have to be willing. You know, if you're not willing, it'll grab you and drag you behind it, and we don't want to go in 2024 like that, right? So whenever you start to feel anxiety and you think, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what is happening, I don't know what's happening in my job, I don't know what's happening in my relationship, I don't know what's happening in my family, I don't know what's happening in my health. Have you been
reading my mail?
Yeah, it's super anxiety inducing. Mm-hmm. So what you want to do is take a step back from that. Get out of that energy. Again, if you want answers, and speaking as someone who wants answers, who's got great psychic friends, I want the answers just like you guys do. But sometimes spirit is like, you're not supposed to know right now. You're not supposed to know right now. If you know, you'll go into resistance because you'll say, I'm not doing that. I'm not moving there. I'm not selling my house. I'm not. Now it's very hard for them to guide you when you're in resistance. So the best thing to do is to just say, I'm waiting for guidance. Show me work with them, you guys. Show me guidance. Okay, is this a guidance? Write it down. I told you guys, I don't know where I told you guys this. I don't know who it was, but like I get one little piece of guidance and I'm like, yes, I've got it. And and then I run off and I do whatever it is that I think the guidance is, only to find out that was step one, that there's 5 more steps that I needed to wait for, but I didn't wait for them. And I did spent money, did things based on that one step. And then I stopped listening to the guidance because I thought I had the guidance. So I'm telling you guys, don't do that, especially going into 2024. Wait, write it down. I had the dream. I saw the 444. I got the reading. I pulled the cards. All of that goes in the hopper. All of that goes in your book. And then wait.
And here's our dirty little secret. We're not
our dirty little secret.
We're not, we're the oracles here, and yet we seek guidance as well. And we seek to understand our lives and our paths and our trajectories as well. Yeah. And I think that and I think what we can do is share some of our experiences and our insights and spirit-driven insights. But it's true that life is best understood in hindsight, but it has to be lived forward. And I think that's the challenge. I think there's going to be a lot of shifting landscapes in 2024. I think there are going to be reasons for generalized anxiety. And I think it's good for us to be developing methods and protocols for managing that anxiety. So we talked about some sort of daily practice. We talked about self-care. We talked about watching Susan and Alan. What else did we so we're in this with you.
Yeah, we're in this with you.
We're in this with you.
And you've got this community going into 2024. So you've got this community that you can go participate in lives like this and get the information, right? So luckily we didn't have this, 5 years ago. So this is amazing to have this community.
Yeah. And
Little Blue Lotus Astrology is one of my favorite astrologers. There's a lot of great astrologers out there, but she's one of my favorites. So check out her website, littlebluelotusastrology.org. And this is another way you can learn about 2024. You can learn about what's coming for you. She's really helped me. I think she's really helped Alan as well.
She has. Susan, what would you say are one thing that you found most helpful in 2023 in terms of staying sane? I think it was the community. I think it was support.
Finding support. Finding my little group, right? Find people that you can call up and say, am I crazy? Or do you think I really saw this or heard this? Or I'm getting this message. I'm not sure how to take it. Get like-minded friends. Find like-minded friends. Find a community.
Doing this work, as we talked about in the group previously, it can be isolating and lonely to be doing this work. And so find like-minded people to talk to about it.
It's huge. Makes a big difference. I mean, and visiting all your online, there's so many of us that do this work online, and you can tap in and just listen to how other people's questions get answered, because you can find so much more for yourself in that as well.
So before we get to Laura Larson, hi Laura. So would you say finding community was an important?
It was an important thing, but for me personally, facing my fears. 2023 will be the biggest year of my life that I faced my fears. I faced I faced some really big fears that I've had in my life to this date of 58 years. 2023 was the year that I just stood up and said, let's do this. I trust myself. I'm going to do this. I did a lot in 2023, right? So, that gave me confidence. It wasn't easy. It terrified the living daylights out of me. It was not easy. It was not easy. I just said yes, and then I was terrified about it until the day came. But I said yes, and I did it. And I think the more you face your fears, I don't think I'm not sure that I'm going to be any less fearful in some ways or anxious of these things in 24, but at least I can look back and say, I did it. I know I can do it again. I'm building my confidence in myself.
The analogy we used was having the training wheels taken off. You practiced, you faced it, you learned, and now you can ride your bike all over the place, or getting your learner's permit or driving. There's no stopping you now, but you had to face your fears. And I think you also worked with some really powerful practitioners.
I did. No, I did the work.
You did the work.
Now people say, what is the work? Now, when I was saying in my membership, do the work, and people and like, what is the work? Well, the work is facing your fears. It's finding out what's in here that's blocking you. So there's hidden things in here in your subconscious. They're hidden. But despite the fact that it's hidden, it's broadcast to your whole life. So you don't know it's being broadcast, but it is. This is how you meet the narcissist. This is how you stay in the job an extra 5 years, even though it's caused you health problems. This is how you continually maybe put up with a bully in your life, even though you really don't need to. But in your mind, you feel like you do, right? So this is how it manifests outwardly, and you don't know why. You look at your life and you're like, this is a shite show, and I don't know why, because I'm not that crazy. Well, it's because the things that are happening that you're not aware of, the hidden parts, the shadow work. Do this, just look up shadow work. I've been working hard on myself. This whole spiritual awakening started with me asking the question, why me? Why is this happening to me? I'm starting to see a pattern. Why is this pattern happening to me? This is how I got here today. Years ago, I had something happen and I didn't like it, and I started asking why. And I looked into it and I faced it. And as I got more confidence, I was able to stand and face bigger things. And I'm sure, and I know because people like Alan tell me, that I've got even bigger things to face in the future that are going to be really intimidating or maybe even cause me anxiety. But I've got things that I'm building. I know I did it, and I'm confident that I can do it in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Again, I think that we're finding our families of frequency. We're finding our way, and we're finding who can help us, who can give us a hand up. And I think but we have to come out of ourselves and reach out, and we have to be vulnerable. And I think that vulnerability is very important. The heart is how we share this. Who wants to
be vulnerable anyway? I mean, who wants to be vulnerable? It's not something that a lot of us really want to do, so it's hard.
I think Laura Larson's been very vulnerable.
You've been very vulnerable. And I want to say hey to Kevin's loving vibrations here. Hey, hello. Yes, let's get to her question. I'm getting to your question because I saw it no less than 3 times. The spirit guides kept dragging me back to your question. So obviously it's an important thing for us to talk about. So let's do it. Go ahead. Alan, everybody's waiting for you.
I'm feeling very vulnerable right now, Susan. Yes, very vulnerable.
You should. You should be feeling vulnerable.
I think that, and I know this is going to sound like, I feel like you can't lose. I think either one is fine. I think that if you don't take the online job, I think there's going to be something else coming along. I think there's sort of an embarrassment of riches here. But what begs the question is what gives you joy? What excites you? What do you feel might stretch you a little bit? What might be a little scary? And sometimes staying where you are can be, when I say scary, I mean, what could challenge you to learn, to be in your curiosity, to be in your creativity? And I think really any job can do that. I'm intrigued by the online job, Laura. I know that sort of stands out. I feel that could lead to something else, that there could be an advancement through that or through the skills you learn there. But it's not a complete failure, or you're not letting yourself down if you stay where you are. I think there are options for both.
I think there's options for both. And I think the fact that they brought the online job into your awareness is because there's more coming. So it's just like Alan said, an embarrassment of riches. But I would say there's more opportunities. You're on the freeway and there's exit ramps lined up for miles. And you're going to be able to sort of decide. And I like his idea of stretching. We don't as a job, right? It pays the bills, all those things. But I think there's an opportunity here for you to do a little bit more than just have a job. So look for that. Look for the stretch.
Yeah, look for the stretch. I like that. That'd be a great T-shirt, Susan, or coffee mug.
Put it on me.
Well, that would be the stretch. But no, I mean the idea of how can we challenge ourselves every day to be less habitual. I know I said we need to develop a daily practice, but maybe even that can be changed up.
Yeah, a daily practice though is a sacred practice.
Right.
It's not an external thing for everybody out there. It's very personal. There's so many good questions. Let me move on. I also wanted to get to there was another question. By the way, thank you, Anne. Thank you, Astrology Happenings with Shaughnessy. Let me just do Shaughnessy. Sure. Shaughnessy, do we see a move for you? Somebody's telling me for you to stay where you are, but I feel like you want to move. I feel like you want to move, but somebody's saying stay. What are you getting, Alan?
I think another someone close to Shaughnessy is saying stay because it could upset the apple cart. Mm-hmm. I think that there are people who have investments in Shaughnessy staying where they are
and staying small.
Yeah, and I think they're a move. Once again, this you can move or you can stay where you are, but I think that the stretch, seek the stretch, is in moving.
I think Spirit's going to move you. If you don't move yourself, like in the next 6 months or 8 months or even a year, I think within the next 2 years, you're going to move. So, it's like Alan says, either or, but you might, instead of, this is for everybody, right? Instead of asking, should I move? Go deeper. Why do I want to move? What do I want? What do I want to manifest? Go into that shadow, go into what's happening in here to figure out how you can manifest it out there. Because there's a reason in here that you're not 100% aware of yet. There's a lot of, you're very mental, you're very pragmatic, practical, you're a thinker, but there's something going on in your heart that's being ignored by your brain. So connect these two things and you won't feel stuck.
Hi, Kevin. And thank you. Someone said that our group is a family of frequency.
It's true. It is true. Absolutely, it's true. And will she get a job in the new year? And are you looking for a right place for a job? Yeah, I feel like you will get a new job. I feel like this job comes really quickly in January, like the doors get thrown open and all of a sudden you might have more than one offer or more than one possibility. It looks really good in my estimation. What do you get, Alan?
Yeah, I think almost immediately with January 1st, January 2nd, it feels like the energy is new for it. And I think Mercury goes direct on the 1st or the 2nd. And I think once again, there's going to be an embarrassment of riches. I think there are going to be a number of options available for you. I think you've worked really hard to develop skills to get where you are. And it feels like there's going to be a equal and opposite reaction in a positive way. You've worked through some things. You've worked through some things in your career. You've also worked through some things with coworkers and with people and in your life internally. So I think that what you're going to see is a job that reflects the work you've done.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to aim high in that.
That's true.
So you asked, am I looking in the right place for a job? I would expand your bandwidth around that after the new year. So I do feel
aim high.
Aim high, yeah.
Let them tell you you're not, whatever. Women tend to, try to shoot, a little lower than we can get. And men always tend to shoot a little higher. I would just shoot as high as you can. Let them say, you're not quite qualified for this, but we do have this.
Yeah, we're going to come up against ourselves in the new year in ways that, again, maybe raise the ante a bit or up the ante. And yet the rewards are so commensurate with the effort we make.
Yeah. I mean, you work on yourself inward and outward, you get paid back. Who was it? Wasn't it you that was saying that to me, that I said, you take a step towards spirit of the universe and the universe takes 3 steps towards you. This is really a thing. If you do the work, if you take 1 step towards them, meaning do the work, whether it's external or internal, especially internal, spirit will reward you. Yeah, they really will.
We talked about spirit pulling into your driveway.
There you go.
In the spirit car.
That's right.
And rather than sitting on the couch and saying, Ma, I think there's someone in the driveway, you get up out of the chair and you walk out the front door and you walk down the steps and you walk down the driveway and you meet spirit getting out of the car. So you seek this connection. You seek your opportunities.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful. Go ahead.
Let's try that one.
Man. All right. We're on the same sync. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I can pronounce your name, if it's Nanya. I'm sorry about that. You have insomnia, and that's terrible. It's a terrible thing to be experiencing. I feel like you are going to get help. I feel like this could be through a medication or through a sleep mask with headphones, or you don't have anything with your sinuses, do you? Because I'm being really drawn to my sinuses right here. I don't know. Are you having trouble breathing at night? Even if you don't think you are, it could be even just, I know this sounds very simple, but even putting a warm compress on your eyes and your sinuses and laying there and maybe even a heating pad and laying there and allowing that to relax you. I mean, this is a bigger deal than I can go into right now, because oftentimes there's other reasons why you're not sleeping. There's patterns. You've gone to bed at 3 p.m. hoping you can get a little sleep, and then you're up in the middle of the night, and now your rhythm, your biologic rhythm is all off. But just simplicity's sake, you have to tell your brain, do not lay on the couch and go to sleep. That is not telling your brain it's time to go to sleep. I want you to put your pajamas on. I want you to go through a routine every night at some time. Even if you don't go to sleep, you've got to start training your brain. It's time to go to sleep. Put my pajamas on. I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to get in my bed. I'm not going to use my phone. I'm going to use soothing music and something warm on my face. And I'm going to just lie there, and I'm going to try. It's going to be a process, because your brain is going and going and going and going and going. That's part of the problem. You cannot stop your brain from going. So it's going to take you a while to retrain your brain to go to sleep. You may even listen to sleep meditations. I think you probably already do this, but you're used to listening to them now. So your brain just overrides them. So you've got to change the game up on your brain. You listen to binaural beats, put headphones on, put the warm compress, change it up, change up the environment. What do you get, Alan?
I get all that's true. I believe, though, too, that there are some really basic core issues triggered about safety during sleep that may go back
that's
into
the part I can't get into. Right.
Right.
Hey, Kevin. Yeah. But it's piggybacked with these other things. It's not, but I agree with you. It's a symptom.
It's a symptom of a deeper
Yeah.
issue,
Yeah.
and that could be addressed through some type of energy work or therapy. But the anxiety starts well before bedtime and then builds up.
Yeah.
But
So
those,
do the things you can do to make yourself feel safe. Pull the curtains, close all the doors, have a nightlight on, have ambient music playing from the nightlight. But you've got to train yourself. You've got to put the phone away. Maybe use a book, something that's not as stimulating as the phone or the iPad or the laptop, because you've really just given in. And I've gone through a period of time, kind of like what you've done. And it was probably the worst time of my life. So I understand what you're going through. And there's not a quick fix for this, but these are some at least starting points.
good luck on that. That's a tough one. Susan, someone else had commented, I'm not seeing it here, about the thyroid issue I mentioned at the beginning. And maybe you can tune into that as well. I think my understanding is there has been a bit of an epidemic of thyroid issues with people in the last dozen years or so.
Yes.
And that has to do with all sorts of environmental issues.
Yes.
But also, you and I have talked about these sunspots or magnetic energy coming off the sun.
Oh yeah.
I think Pam Gregory did a video on that. So I think we're going to be seeing more the effect of these solar flares. Is that what they're called? On the pineal gland and the thyroid and some of these other areas that are associated with the chakras. And I don't know I don't have an answer for how that's addressed.
What I'm hearing right now, so you can have an under-functioning thyroid that's not diagnosed by medical standards. Whatever our medical tests are, is just not picking it up. I know for me, I went to Sybil Harmony. She has a YouTube channel, and she was amazing. She really helped my thyroid. So you can, and Kevin, Loving Vibrations, is here in the chat. He's an amazing healer. Go to these healers, because it's not a one and done. They're not just going to get in there and fix you. It is a series of kind of sessions that need to happen. But going back to how I got where I'm at, right? I had, like Alan said, I had a lot of fantastic practitioners that helped me get here. I had healings done. I had shamanistic work done. I continue to get this work done, because I can only do so much of it. You get a reading, you get a mentor, you get a facilitator to help you deal with this shadow work. So yeah, getting the help. Avail yourself of all the help you can get.
And Carolyn Pooler says, send love to all your chakras every night, which is that's a lovely sentiment.
Yes.
And a bit very powerful. We don't.
Instead, we complain. Why am I so tired? Why am I so fat? Why can't I do this? Why? So we send hate and anger and everything like that to our bodies. And it's no wonder we're tired. It's no wonder that we're not really at our best, right? So I love that, Carolyn. That's beautiful.
And for the insomnia, SPC says a weighted blanket. I've heard other people have success.
Weighted blanket. That would be good for you, Nanya. I like that. I like that for her or him. I'm not sure. Yes, perfect. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Acupuncture, all the things, guys. And there's so many people in our community that are starting out that are offering free readings, inexpensive readings. Avail yourself of these people, right? Mm-hmm. Help them get their feedback and try and give them a reading. Reach out to people. Yeah, so there's Gigi. There were a lot of people, and Betty is another one. Will my son come back into my life? You guys, a lot of people are asking us, will I meet the love of my life, or will I get the job, or will my family member ever talk to me again? for you, Betty, yes and no. I feel like your son comes back in your life, but I feel like he comes back in a different way than perhaps you might want him to come back. Our kids need to grow up. It's sometimes they need to become distant from us. Sometimes the relationship just breaks down. And I find that when you want something, it almost repels it, right? When you can be in the observer mode, when you can say, I love my son, I'm sending him love, I'm sending him light. I just sending him that, and then let it go. Let it go. Because if you every day, I wish my son, I'm worried about my son, what am I going to do about my son? He's getting all of that energy from you, and it's pushing him away, actually, because he feels that it's clingy to him. So he keeps further away. So really, it's not easy, but it's better to be in a neutral position of, if this is supposed to happen, if my son is supposed to come back in my life, he'll come back in my life. And I find that when you live your life fully, everything you want comes to you. When you live your life wanting everything to come to you, it doesn't. But when you live your life like, I love myself, I'm going on with my life, I'm going to do what I need to do, I'm going to grow and change and explore and just be in my oneness, that's when everybody wants to know what you're doing. That's when everybody comes to you. You're like a bright light. Everybody's like, what is going on? What are you doing, Mom? What are you doing? I've seen it with my own friends. I've seen this with my own clients. So try to work on your light. And that's going to be the light that brings him back, I think. What do you think, Alan?
There's a definite fracture there that has the potential to be partially healed. But I agree that her energy is that of a debt collector. And with her son, there's a seeking of trying to pursue him. And I think that if I agree that if she can bring her energy back into herself and live her life, and I'm not, and again, I don't mean to be glib about what she's experienced there.
More like a grief collector, not a debt collector. Like she's grieving. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's grieving about the loss.
Yes, that is a better way to describe that. And it is, and there is a fracture there. There's a fracture. It's very real.
Yeah. But it's not going to get solved like this. It's just saying, is he going to come back to me? I really feel like you have to, there's all these contracts and lessons. And I think your lesson is to move on, like he's not going to come back. When you can say that I'm just going to take care of myself and be my best, whatever. And I don't know that he's going to come back. That's when he's going to do it.
I hold out. I'm holding out not false hope for a reconnection. It's not all fully what you want right now, but there will be a reconnection that I think can be meaningful over time.
Yeah, I think it's a different connection, but it's a connection, and it is a soul connection. It is a love. There's love there, but it's on a different level. It's like he had to go out and do something on his own. He had to separate from you and go prove it on his own. I have to prove this, that I can do it. I don't need family. I don't need my mom. I need to do it on my own. It's what I get from him. It's like, so he's doing what he thinks he needs to do. And I don't know that he's overtly trying to hurt you. I think he's basically looking at his own situation.
Yeah, this is not giving him a pass on what happened. But there is a sense that, again, Betty, if you can focus on yourself and pull your energy back in and integrate that and live your life, there will be a reconnection at a later point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss. I know it's really hurtful, and you'll have to go through those stages of grief, right? Maybe you might have to go through all the 5 stages of grief to get through this, to get to the other side of it, because this is what your soul wants to do. So if you guys want to know, there's so many things that you can do to help yourself. Get an Akashic Records reading where you find out what is the soul path here. Why is my son acting this way? Why is he my son? Why did I have him and now he's went away? What's the lesson here? There's all these different types of ways you can discover and figure out what's happening that you're not aware of, energetically. I hope this helps, dear. I'm sorry about it sounds horrible and I'm really sorry about it. But I think it can grow into something different. Let's maybe do one more.
Yes. I'm being lulled into, you decide.
So, Tyler, what happened here? Someone deleted my message about some suggestions. Again, singing bowls, sound baths, binaural beats on YouTube. Sorry if somebody deleted that. Sometimes if you're a moderator, what's happening is the chat is moving and you go to click on something and the chats move 3 up and all of a sudden they click on the wrong thing. So don't take it personally, Tyler. I don't think anybody did this personally. I personally love singing bowls. I love sound baths and I love binaural beats. I love the sound bath, the sound healing where you lay on the massage table and they put the bowls on your body. Holy crap. You want to talk about moving your energy? If you're feeling stuck and you're like, I can't do it. I don't know what's going on, but I can't seem to get over this hill. In my opinion, having that type of procedure done where the bowls are played on your body, it blew my chakras open like a freeway in the middle of the night. I was wide open. It was amazing. So these are all things that I did that really made me who I am and able to do what I'm doing. So please don't take that the wrong way, Tyler. I'm sure we all love singing bowls and all of those things.
Yeah, I've had some powerful experiences with singing bowls as well. You feel it in your you feel it in your core, in your bones. It's like it's pretty powerful.
It's powerful.
Tyler,
it's way more powerful than a sound bath. A sound bath is very different.
And tuning forks as well. Someone's talking about tuning forks. And Tyler, I don't know if you do this work, but I think people
maybe you should.
Maybe you should. There was something else about this. Is like playing the Mighty Wurlitzer, people. Oh, there's a lot going on here. Akashic Records. You know someone who does Akashic Records, Susan.
Yeah. I know 2 people. I know, and you guys put your own Akashic Records suggestions in the chat, please, because I'm always up for finding new people. I really am.
Absolutely.
So I think we've both been to akashicattunement.com or .net, akashicattunement.net with Robert Brunges. Yep, Cindy P already put it in there. Cindy is the boss. All right. I love it. And
thank you, Cindy.
I don't know that I want to say the other one because she might not be ready for like hundreds and hundreds of people, but I will probably have her on my channel at some point. So
that'd be great, Susan. That'd be great.
Yeah. Cause I think she's really good, but I don't think she's ready for this kind of exposure. Cause having like hundreds of readings at once is very overwhelming. Gosh, you guys, I hope this was helpful to you guys. I just want you guys to know that we're sending you so much love and so much light, and you got this. You all got this. You can all do whatever it is you're trying to do. You're going to get through whatever it is you're trying to get through. Try to love and be gentle with yourself. I think if there's one thing I would say is love and be gentle with yourself. That's kind of the key to all the things.
Yeah, and especially during this Mercury retrograde period until the end of the month, it's a time to take stock, to review, to look back over the year, as we do oftentimes this time of year. And we'll be back with you again in 2024. and right along with you.
Yeah, we'll be there all year with you, whether you want us or not. We'll be there. I'm going to be doing a live with Civil Harmony on her channel on Wednesday night. But you know, Alan will be back, and you never know, he might have his own YouTube channel at some point in 2024. So there's lots of wonderful things that we can all, you know, and Alan is the guy who taught me the saying, let it be wonderful. Right? Instead of like catastrophizing the future and saying, oh my God, this is going to go wrong. Oh my God, I forgot about this. Oh my God, what if this happens? Alan would say, why not let it be wonderful? So I'm going to leave that with you guys, because I think that is a beautiful saying. And it just goes to show you that sometimes we catastrophize things that haven't even happened yet. So if we're going to do that, why not do the opposite? Why not let it be wonderful, right?
Yeah, and she only hung up on me once the first time I said that.
You know what? I'm thrilled because you've been so busy. You haven't been ringing that damn bell.
I haven't, and I'm leaving. It is a Christmas bell. It's a Christmas angel.
Oh, well, I love.
Oh,
what a sweet angel! It looks like it's.
Are you talking about me or?
No, not talking about you. But yeah, sure. You look marvelous, Alan.
Thank you.
Marvelous.
And I also have a website.
That's right. That's right. Alan is doing readings, you guys.
We buried the lead.
We buried the lead. Yes. Well, tell them about your website.
It's beautiful.
Tell them the name
There's
of it.
a part of it that moves, which is really exciting.
What did I do? What did I do here?
It's Alan, ALLEN, JohnsonIntuitive.com.
AlanJohnsonIntuitive.com. Yes, we'll be back. We'll be back. Just say that in the Terminator voice.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. All right, everybody.
This was fun, Susan. It always is. God bless you all. Thank you for being vulnerable with us, showing up, talking, exploring these.
Supporting each other.
Yeah.
Supporting each other.
We're a family of frequency here.
Yeah, I love it. That's beautiful. All right, everybody.
All right.
Have a wonderful holiday. If I don't see you for some reason, have a wonderful holiday. And we'll see you again soon, okay? Take really good care, everybody.
Thank you. God bless.
Yes.
Bye-bye.